Good evening, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of What's Up, Cuz here on the Sports Zone Chicago Network. I am one of your hosts, Jason Palmer, and joining me as always is my cousin, the coach himself, Lance Assay Irvin. Cuz, how you doing, man? Good to see you.
Man, I'm doing good, but I have a slight issue, cuz.
Okay, slight issue. Other than that bright shining light behind you, but go ahead.
That's all right though, cause it brings out my ebony hue, brings out my color. Ain't nothing wrong with that. What you need me tone my light down, cuz?
No, you're fine. You're fine. Go ahead. What's the issue? What's going on?
But why you wearing that Brooklyn hat like you know something about the Brooklyn Dodgers or something like that? And and I forgot to get my Negro League hat. I'm gonna have to go grab it at the commercial flex. But I'm gonna let you have the limelight. Like why you wearing that hat? Cause you always wear stuff for certain reasons, like Sarah Gordon jerseys and all
Yeah.
that type stuff. And, like the White Sox All Star jersey, TA, all this and all that. But I think you felt slighted last week because I got you. I came out with my Gibson jersey on, and I stole the show. But that's all right though. Go ahead though. I'm gonna let you introduce and do all that other good stuff that you do. But what's the
Well,
hat for? What's
I'm
the hat for?
wearing my Brooklyn Dodgers hat because April 15th is Jackie Robinson Day throughout Major League Baseball. So I want to celebrate that. And there's another reason I'm wearing this hat today
Why is that?
because we have a new segment because we got such a wonderful response last week. So returning this week is our newest segment, What Lance Knows.
Oh, here we go again.
And so all our questions this week that we're gonna have for you are about Jackie Robinson. So you're gonna get 5 questions on Jackie Robinson. So we want to see what you do. So that's why I'm wearing the Brooklyn hat for this week. All
Hey,
right.
tell our boy Armando welcome to the show. But Armando, what Lance knows, I think I was like 80% last week. So I'm looking forward to going 80% again this week. See, Lance knows. Just let me tell you something.
We want you to get 100, man. Be 5 for 5, man.
I mean, sometimes you have to take what you can get, but I take 80% now, but I'm shooting for 100.
Okay,
So
that'll
with that
work.
being said, okay.
Yeah.
What's up, cuz? Let me leave you alone and let you do your thing
All right,
while
so
I
let me
drink
introduce
my tea.
everybody to What's Up, Cuz. If this is your first time tuning in to us, welcome, 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 welcome. This is our regular Monday night show from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Time from the city of Chicago, where today it is a whopping 34 degrees.
Ooh, Jay, it was just 80 degrees this weekend. They was wearing Daisy Dukes and all that extra stuff. We were talking about Freak Nick, and ladies just went out and put on, like I said, spaghetti tops, string tops, and everything string you want. Now we go outside, Jay. We got our winter coats on again. Unbelievable.
I know. And it was snow flurry. So, welcome to spring in Chicago. So, welcome everybody to What's Up, Cuz. Once again, I'm Jason Palmer along with my cousin, the coach himself, Lance Irvin. And we appreciate those of you who are tuning in on the Sports Zone Chicago YouTube channel. We appreciate you all checking us out there. Go ahead and leave us your comments and questions and likes, and also subscribe to that channel. It'll give you access to all the shows we have here on Sports Zone Chicago. If you are tuning in via the Facebook live feed that Lance Irvin usually has, I got
Oh,
mine
yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, look at, see, got to remind them. Put your Facebook live feed up, cuz. Go ahead and send us some shouts out there as well. We appreciate it. And if you're watching us on the Sports Zone Chicago Roku channel, if you have Roku and you have not downloaded the Sports Zone Chicago channel, what you waiting for? Go ahead, add it. You can check us out via that streaming service. And if you are mobile and on the go and always got something to do, or you're in the car or somewhere else and you're trying to tune in, that's cool. Just download the Sports Zone Chicago app. We have an app. You can put it on your phone, you can put it on your tablet. Anywhere you can download the app, we encourage you to do that so that you can take us with you. Gives you access to all the shows, the reruns, if you missed the episode, and of course today's live show as well is also on the app. And if you do not have the Sports Zone Chicago app, my cousin Lance, he's getting ready to tell you where you can get it.
You find on the iTunes store, Amazon store, and the Google Play store. And also, like my cousin Jason said, you can make sure you guys follow my cousin Jason on the social media platform, also my social media platform. My cousin says some crazy stuff, but he writes some very good articles. So make sure you follow him and follow us, and welcome to the show. But Cause you know what though? Before we get started too though, see, you're not an NBA basketball guy. You're not an NBA, because you should have
I'm
came
not.
out here excited and enthused. You don't know what happened yesterday. All
I
the
heard what
home
happened.
teams lost basically. No, you don't know what happened. Go ahead.
I didn't
I'll
know
leave you
about that.
alone.
I thought you were
I'll
talking
leave you
about
alone.
what else would happen. I thought you
I'll
were
leave
talking
you
about.
alone. Go
I'm
ahead. Go
sorry.
ahead.
I thought you were
I
talking
get
about
excited.
E40. I thought you were talking about E40 getting escorted out of the game. But
Oh
okay.
yeah. What happened? I heard some of it, but what happened to the man?
We'll
Like,
talk about that later.
okay, let me
That's a
leave
whole
that
different.
alone.
That's a whole different segment. But yes, you are the NBA guy. That's why we have you on the show. You are our basketball aficionado, and thanks to you, tell them who we got coming on tonight. Coming up at 6:30, because we got a great guest coming up.
Well, you know one thing about us, Jay, we started this show as a platform to introduce people that probably doesn't get enough limelight, but this man right here is getting a lot of limelight. When I called him up, I said, "Hey, champ." He was like, "What's up, champ?" You know, he called me, "Hey, champ, we need you on the show." So I said, "You know what? Jay, let's get him on." So he said, "I'd love to be on." So no other than my man, associate head coach, Kamani Young from the UConn Huskies. Didn't they just win that thing about 2 weeks ago?
They did. They are the current national champions. So Kamani is coming up at about 6:30. So in about 20 minutes, we're gonna have him coming on the show, man. I'm gonna see if he's still celebrating or if he back to the grind. Because that's the thing about you coaches. You can't even celebrate the doggone championship before you back recruiting
No,
again.
you can't. But Jay, can you put that picture back up for us if you
Yeah. I can
can,
put him
real
up.
quick?
Yeah.
See, I got a bone to pick with him. See, let me tell you why I got a bone to pick with him. See, he got the fitted sport coat on with the Ferragamo belt. He's trying to dress like I used to dress, cause I got a bone to pick with him now.
Okay.
Kamani is my man now, but Jay, see, you'd have noticed that, Jay, and that shirt looked like it's tailor made also.
Well, you
Okay,
know,
I got a bone to pick with him. I got
we're
a
gonna
bone to
talk
pick with
about
him.
that because you've gone with the whole we all need to just wear polo shirts and basically shorts on the sidelines. So.
No. I said every now and then you should be able to wear a pair of slacks, your cold hand, and a pullover. I said, me myself, we gonna ask Kamani that. Me myself, I like wearing suits. But you know, CJ, I got a whole closet full of suits. It don't matter to me. But with that being said, you should be able to wear slacks and a pullover every now and then.
Yeah.
Lance, you just set the tone, man. You set the bar high, and he's trying to. What do you want? He's like, you know what? He emulates you. You know what I mean? You know the old saying, imitation is the highest form of flattery. He's like, damn, Lance, G the frick up. Damn, I think I need to step my game up.
Son, I'm gonna
That's it.
have to
That's
ask him about that. Let me think about that question, cause dressing attire. Yeah, let me get him on that. Ask him.
Good. Yeah, we gotta ask him about that. So he's coming up at 6:30. So he'll be coming in from Connecticut, unless he's on the road traveling, but he will be tuning in. He's excited to join us, so he'll be checking in with us in about 15 minutes or so. And then we got some other topics to discuss. And we'll get into some of those actually right now. I think we'll get into some of those right now. So we're gonna start things off doing some self-promotion. Self-promotion. Sometimes that's Irvin. My mama told me it's okay if you pat yourself on the back a little bit. That it's okay to do that every once in a while. It helps keep your confidence flowing. Sports Zone Chicago, this wonderful network that we are hosting a draft party. We are hosting a draft party coming up in a couple weeks, and we cut the promos for them. You'll start hearing my voice on the Sports Zone Chicago shows as we're cutting the promos. But the Sports Zone Chicago Miller Lite Draft Party is going to be taking place coming up on the 27th of April at Output Lounge Sports Bar, located 1758 West Grand Avenue. And they've got some of the best wings in the city of Chicago. Sean will tell you they are the absolute best. So come on by and try some of the wings and join in on the argument. You had some of the wings too, Lance. We were out there a few months ago. What are your thoughts on the wings at Output?
You know what? I'm a food critic, right? And you and Sean kept bragging about these wings. So I was like, they overhyping these wings. So I said, they're probably on a scale of 1 to 5. They probably be a 2.5. I wasn't, like whatever. Man, I bit into one of the wings. I was like, ooh, scrumptious. Ooh, scrumptious. Matter of fact, I ate 10 there, and I said, you know what? Let me get another 20 to go. Because I shared with the wife when I got home. But those wings are very good, Jay. So
Yes,
I'm
they
looking
are.
forward to going back there and enjoying myself. And you know, I'm not going to talk about the cocktails because I really don't drink cocktails. But from what I hear, they put a decent amount of liquor in their cocktails. That's all I'm going to say right now. I was
They,
drinking
they
water.
poured a little heavy. They poured a little heavy in output, which is good. 'Cause, you know, there are so many places in Chicago where
Whoa,
you
you
know
say
you
it like
get
it's
a
a
drink.
bad thing.
I
You say it
know.
like it's a bad thing. Hold on, player.
You know,
That almost sounds like a
know.
complaint. That almost sounds like a complaint, Jason.
It's
You're
yeah,
a
I
little
know you see.
heavy-handed with the drink. They give me too much damn liquor in my drink. It's more than a shot of alcohol. What the hell's wrong with them? It's not good for their
See,
business model.
exactly. See, they didn't oversell. Now somebody said, but you know, I maybe had a little taste when somebody switched my cup on me. I was like,
The
ooh,
old
this how I
switcheroo.
like. Yeah, that's how I like my cocktail. I was like, oh, my fault, wrong one. Bring me another one.
Oh, yes. So we're gonna be at Output. We'll be there for the draft party. Currently, the Bears are drafted. Is it eighth, Sean? I got it right. It's eighth.
Ninth. It's
Ninth.
ninth.
I'm sorry. All right.
Ninth.
So they are drafting ninth. So we're gonna be interested to see. And you know, the thing about draft night is that things change quickly. So we'll see what happens on draft night. Will the Bears move down and get even more picks? Will they move up? Will somebody else get traded? You know, you never know on draft night. So it's always a cool event. Make sure you are there. We will have most of the Sports Zone Chicago family is going to be there as well. So, you know, everybody be sure to come by, check us out at Output. It's always a good outing. And, you know, it's the NFL draft where, you know what's so interesting about the NFL draft night? It's the night where everybody has hope for their team. No matter how bad you were or how good you were. It's like we're all back even, like, okay, we can fix this thing. All we need to do is so that's why I love the NFL draft. And the NFL has done a great job of promoting the draft night and making it kind of like its own sporting event in itself. So join us, everybody, at Output. We'll put the information up throughout the show. It'll be down on the screen scrolling, and you know we'll be putting up our
Hey,
brochure.
cuz, and you just
Don't
said
forget.
something. You just said something interesting, right? Everybody has hope on draft night, but for guys that cover sports like you and I, Shine, I kind of look to see, okay, what are the general managers, what are the front office doing? Like,
Mhm.
how can they improve? But I listen to stuff they said and things they do, right? Your actions speak louder than your words. And for the
Mhm.
Bears, we basically gutted our whole defensive unit. I don't know what you agree or not. So you gutted that out.
Yeah.
So now you traded your pick. You traded back. You didn't trade up. You traded down to get some more access. So I'm curious to see what are we gonna do with our picks. So with that being said, I mean I think we should go defensive line first, maybe, or linebacker per se first. I don't know what your thoughts are, and I'm not trying to change the subject all over the place, but you know I'm a Bears fan. See, I don't have a side piece team like you and Maya. Like
Well,
I don't do all that.
I've said what I've said about the Bears, and that if I'm them, just me personally, I'm going to get me some offensive linemen or some defensive linemen. Whoever's the best available on the defensive line, the offensive line, because I believe if you're building a football team, you do it from the inside out. I think you got your quarterback. You know, you can always get receivers and running backs, but you better have somebody who can block for them. Otherwise, you ain't going nowhere. And last year, we saw Fields running for his life, and I'd like to see the young man get some protection so we can get his full potential is. So that's just me. We'll have more draft talk coming up a little bit later on in the show. Our girl Gia, she's out there checking in. Oh man, I'm happy. I'm leaving Chicago Monday. I hate I'm going to miss it. Oh, Gia, you're not gonna be at the draft party. Well, that's all right. Lance said he gonna eat your wings for you.
But you know, the question is Jay, where is Gia going? See, because Gia loves sports. We're fooling around watching TV, and Gia be at the Milwaukee Bucks game or be Boston. Matter of fact, she might be at the Phoenix Suns game. You'll never know. See, that's the $1 million question. See, you always see, you taught me to think more than what she's saying. Like she's saying something, but it's something else being said.
Why are you all in Gia business? Gia might be
Oh, my
dipping
bad.
out for a romantic weekend somewhere. You up here putting this woman business out here on the Sports Zone Chicago Airways. Shame on you. Oh, what's up to Patty too? I saw Patty checked in earlier. So, but we will see. I'm sure Gia will pop up one of these days, and we'll get to see her face to face, and she'll get to hang out with the crew. All right, hey, let's talk a subject before we go into our newest segment. The Chicago Bulls season is over. Got to give you credit. You said they were going to finish pretty much where they did. Where do we go from here, Lance? Because I obviously missed on this one. I thought they were going to be a 3 or 4 seed in the East at the beginning of the year. You did not agree with me, and you were 100% correct in doing so.
I mean, first of all, if you the Bulls, right, you have to say the season was a disappointment. When you have one of the best 2 guards in the league in Zach LaVine, you have a DeMar DeRozan that's one of the top probably 10 scorers in the league, and you have Vuk, who's a formidable front line guy. You say you have 3 really good players. But with that being said, Jay, we won like 39 games or 37 games, something like that. I never thought that we really got our rhythm until like the end of the year when we started playing better. When Patrick Beverly came around, we won like 5 out of 8 or 6 out of 8. And I think the injury, we were 40 and 42, excuse me. I think the injury to Lonzo Ball really hurt. Right. So I thought he was going to come back at least by the midpoint of the year. And he missed the full year. He missed the middle part of last year. So it's a tough situation for them. Where do we go from here? Man, I don't know. Is Patrick Beverly your point guard to start the season off next year? Are they going to extend Patrick Beverly? Is he going to be the point guard? I mean, I don't know. I'm just asking, Jay. He started. So he can.
I don't know if is that going to breed long-term success?
I'm just asking the question. I just said, is Patrick Beverly your point guard? I don't know. I like Patrick Beverly. Sound defense, get a spot off jump shot. I think he's a good leader. I'm saying I'm interested to see what they think. And I'm not sure. Do you think Lonzo Ball is coming back?
No,
he's done. Like his third knee surgery?
I think his career is done. We've been said
you think his career is done?
I think his career is done. I was with Eugene McIntosh when he was on this show and he said it. He was like, his career might be over, Jason. Think about what Eugene said when he told us 2 years ago. He said they're not even talking about his injury. When I see him, he's still on crutches. He said, I don't think he's coming back this year. Now, that was last year. Yeah, before the season started this year, we had him on the show. We said, Gene, what's up with Lonzo? He said, I don't think that dude's going to play this year. He's like, he keep having setbacks. He said, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if his career's over. That's what he said. And what happened? He didn't play all year this year. And now we find out he got to have a whole nother knee surgery. You had knee surgeries, Lance. It's only so much cartilage in there. You can't be going in there 3-4 times within like a year, 2-year period.
Well, let me give you a couple of names to see why maybe is a little bit of hope. Steph Curry. They were saying the same thing about Steph Curry, about his ankle. You remember? Steph was supposed to semi be done. Wasn't going to be the type player that he turned out to be. Before people said his ankles. Well, Steph came back. Joel Embiid. So there is hope. There's hope. Now, I'm not saying that you're wrong, Jay. I'd never say that. So like I've been telling my brother Mike when I say stuff, it's a but. So he has an opportunity. I hope he comes back. But then, Jay, what are we doing with the Bulls front line? Like the front line, I never thought for the past couple of years, their front line hasn't been good enough, in my opinion. So they need to get front line help. They need to decide on Pat Beverly. They need to decide on where can they get somebody that has good leadership. Like I said, I think Patrick Beverly gave him leadership, but that's a question. And you said, is Pat Beverly the answer? Questions we're going to see, but the season was a disappointment.
It was. And I want Pat Beverly on this team. I don't want people to think I'm saying I don't want him on the team. I definitely want him on the team. I just don't know if you go with him as your starting point guard. You know, he brings a certain mentality, brings a certain toughness. He definitely leadership. But as the starting point guard, Yeah. That's a tough sell on me. That's a tough sell on me. Armando agrees with me. He says, I believe Ball's career is over.
And then I think, Patrick Williams was coming off the bench. I think he had a pretty good year. You have Io over there. Sometimes Caruso starts over there. Is your bench good enough? Is your productivity off the bench good enough? Like the Lakers, when they started this year, I think most of them say their bench was crappy. Like their players weren't good enough. But now with the pickups that they had, their bench is pretty good now. So they have to decide, is their bench good enough and what else they need for them to become a better team. But interesting things for the Bulls. I mean, we need to get Kendall Gill on the show to
Mm,
see what he thinks about, the Bulls and what they need to do. Because Kendall covered the Bulls. Oh,
yeah,
and
yeah.
Kendall don't mind mixing it up now. Kendall will tell you the truth.
Well,
He said,
and
"Go ahead."
neither does Stacy. So and neither does Stacy. So we're gonna get these guys on now that it's off season. We want to bring them to our viewing audience, but um I mean they're seeing the same thing we see, and I feel sad for them because they got to sit there and watch some of the mess that was happening all year, and it was really awful. Some of the stuff I saw this year from the Chicago Bulls, very disappointing in this team. But we'll see what happens, what goes from here. They do have a first round pick this year. I can't really keep up because these people keep changing all they doggone pips. They picks. They keep. Oh, we're gonna trade this one. I think the Bulls do have a first round pick this year.
Jason, for the amount of money they get paid, I don't feel bad for them. Them NBC Sports Chicago checks are nice and juicy. Juicy.
Sean, so those checks nice and juicy.
Juicy.
Ooh, I didn't know those checks was like
Play
that though.
Q Notorious B.I.G. in the background. Juicy.
Ooh.
Hey,
And
juicy.
they had every home game. So
No, they're every game. That's 82 times a year.
oh
Oh,
yeah, I
they are
forgot about that.
juicy.
Plus playoffs.
Juicy.
Mm.
Plus,
Plus playoffs.
well, that's
Jay,
true.
you and
Playoff.
Sean need to figure out a way to get us to be the B team. See, when Kendall and Big Will Purdue can't make it, we need to be the B team.
Yeah. I ain't gonna disagree with that. Won't disagree with that. All right. Before we take our commercial break and we bring on our first guest, we're gonna go ahead and get into our newest segment. And folks, we have graphics coming next week for this new segment.
Oh, here we go. You turned me into a superstar. I told Jay, I mean, I just show up. Anything you ask me, I'm ready for.
Yeah.
Man.
So we've got our new segment, and next week we're gonna have some fun graphics to go with it. But for now, we'll just go with the regular little small stuff. It is time for What Lance Knows. So for What Lance Knows, I will be asking my cousin a question, and he will give an answer. Now this week I made it. How can I say? I made it a little bit more streamlined for you.
What
In
does
that
that mean?
it's like a CPS test. It's multiple choice. so, so, so I
Hey
gave
man.
you some multiple choice questions this week, and we will see how you can do
See,
with
let me tell
multiple
you where you got this thing twisted. I didn't go to Lynn Bloom from high school and I didn't go to St. Rita. So I don't need multiple choice questions. I come at it straight. Now maybe you, Sean, and Maya need multiple choice questions. Lance C. Irvin, I don't need it.
Are you sure about that, Lance? Here?
I'm not gonna chew my cabbage twice. But go ahead though. Let me shut up. Come on.
All right, we shall see. So, Sean, you have the corresponding correct answer in pictures this week. In pictures this week,
Okay,
you have the
let's go get it.
corresponding correct answers, and I just put them in order so they are in the folder. Lord have mercy, this is getting ready to be
Okay,
funny.
let's go. Let's
Gia
go.
Warren's got your back. She says, "Come on, Lance, you can do this." So here we go. So you
Thanks, Gigi.
got
Come
your
on.
answer.
Come on with
All
it.
right, here we go. Here's our first question for What Lance Knows. What Lance Knows. I do my TV game show host for you.
Let's go get it.
In what year did Jackie Robinson break the modern Major League Baseball color barrier? Was it A, 1937, B, 1957, C, 1947, or D, 1967? What year did Jackie Robinson break the modern Major League Baseball color barrier? A, 1937,
It's not
B,
37.
1957, C, 1947, or D, 1967?
I'm going 1947.
He's going with 1947. Is that your final answer?
Final answer.
Sean, is 1947 correct? It is.
Come on
It
now.
is.
Talk
April
to me
15th,
nicely.
1947. Lance Irvin, you're
Talk
on
to
the
me
board.
nicely.
Way
Talk
to
to
hit
me
the
nicely.
first. Oh, boy.
Talk
Oh,
to
boy.
me nicely.
All
Talk
right,
to
he
me
gets
nicely.
It's a check mark for that one. All right, that's one correct. All right. All right. Question number 2 for what Lance knows. Major League Baseball retired Jackie Robinson's number in 1997. His number is now worn by all Major League Baseball players on April 15th, which is official Jackie Robinson Day. What is his number? Is it A, 22, B, 32, C, 42, or D, 72?
Well, you know what, Jay? You give me questions that it's 42. Everybody knows it's 42.
Okay. All right. You're now 2 for 2. 2 for 2. You're batting 1,000, Lance. All right. Those are the easy ones. I always try to give you, I try to prime you. I got to prime you, get you primed up, All right. Now we're getting to the more difficult
Okay,
questions.
come on.
Now, on
with
this
it,
one,
cuz.
I need you to listen to the question very carefully.
Okay, yeah,
Here we
okay,
go.
come on.
All right. Here's the question. What position did Jackie Robinson play for the Dodgers in his Major League Baseball debut? What position did Jackie Robinson play for the Dodgers in his Major League Baseball debut? Was it A, second base, B, first base, C, pitcher, or D, third base?
That's tough. But I'm gonna go with second base. Second
Okay,
base.
he replies A, second base. Sean, does the picture correlate with the correct answer? No, that is not correct.
Oh!
He played first base in his major league debut in his very first game. And then after that, he was moved to second base. But in his very first game with the Dodgers, he played first base. So you get an X on that one.
You just don't want me to be great. You just didn't want me to be great.
So you're now 2 for 3. You're batting 666. 666. All right, here we go. All right. Question number 4 in what Lance knows. He's 2 for 1. Thanks for updating the graphics, Sean. Appreciate it. All right. Before playing professional baseball, Jackie Robinson served in the military. In which branch of the military did he serve? Is it A, the Army, B, the Navy, C, the Air Force, or D, the Marines? What branch of the military did Jackie Robinson serve in before he played baseball? Army, Navy, Air Force, or Marines? What is your answer?
I'm gonna go with Navy.
He's going with the Navy. He thinks he was on a ship. All right. Sean, is that the correct answer? That is not a Navy uniform, Lance Irvin. That is the Army. I'm sorry. Jackie.
Killing me.
Jackie Robinson was in the
Army,
sir. He was in the Army. Oh boy. Brandon's trying to help you out as well. Everybody's trying to help you. So you're now 2 and 2. So you're at 50%, Lance Irvin. 50%.
Let me listen to my theme music. Let me get my mojo back. Okay, all right, I'm ready to go.
I should have played that before the show.
I'm ready to go.
Okay.
I'm ready to go.
So now we move.
I'm ready to go.
Question number 5. Here's your last chance. You can finish at 60%.
I'm ready to go.
All right.
Let's go.
At what university? Oh, I'm sorry. Jackie Robinson lettered in 4 sports at this university. What university did Jackie Robinson get 4 letters in for sports? Is it A, UConn, B, UCLA, C, USC, or D, UTEP? UConn,
See,
UCLA, USC,
Jackie,
or UTEP?
Jackie Robinson giving me California vibes.
Okay.
You probably let it in football, baseball, basketball, and Jackie seemed fast, so Jackie probably ran track.
Yeah.
Knowing Jackie Robinson, he's giving me UCLA vibes from my history report. He's giving me UCLA vibes. I'm going with
Sean.
I ain't going because when I was little, I read a Jackie Robinson book, and I remember, like you said, "Come on, talk to me nicely. Talk to me nicely." That's why I had to play my theme music, get my mind right.
It is
Talk to me
UCLA.
nicely.
It is UCLA. That is correct. And I ought to give you some bonus points because you actually knew which were the 4 sports.
Talk to me nicely. I read a
Good
book
job.
about Jackie when I was
Ooh,
younger. Talk to
Lance
me
Irvin.
nicely.
All right. Good job, Lance Irvin. So you finished 3 for 5, which is 600. Not bad. Not bad. Let's see, if we're grading you in school, you probably got a D+. If we're grading you based on baseball, you're hitting 600, you're a Hall of Famer. So we'll grade you as a baseball Hall of Famer. We'll give you the 600 this time.
But
right?
I should get some extra credit because I told you the sports that he played. So
Okay,
that's
I'll give
extra
you
credit. So we should curve it. We should curve it a little
I'll
bit.
give you 65%. How about
This guy
now you
right
want to
here.
curve. Now you sound like me back in high school.
This guy right
well,
here.
you know,
This guy right here. This guy right here.
pretty good
See?
job. So, okay, I will say Lance knows, for the most part, everything about Jackie Robinson. I actually had a really tough question in here, but I decided.
Well, come on, shoot it. Shoot it to me. Let's see. Shoot it to me. Come on.
I'm going to ask you this one before we
Just the bonus
bring Kamani
question.
on real quick. So the other question was, the bonus question was, before he went to the major leagues, Jackie Robinson played in the minor leagues in which Canadian city? Was it Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, or Calgary? What is the minor league affiliate of the Brooklyn Dodgers back in 1947?
Was
it
Calgary.
Toronto, Vancouver, Calgary, or Montreal? See, you were wrong. It was Montreal.
I mean, you didn't say is that your final answer though. I didn't say it. You said.
Now you're being technical. Now you're being a lawyer on me.
No. We're gonna ask Kamani when he come out here. We're gonna ask him, did I say it was the final answer? I didn't say final answer. It's the final answer.
Oh God. Oh Lord. Well, hey, guess what? He's here. He's back in the green room. It is time to bring him on. Why don't you introduce our first guest for tonight's show?
Well, you know what, Jay? We try to bring people over here that's A, that's good people, and B, that does really well at their craft. And I met Kamani years ago, man. I met him, Jay, when he was at the New Heights organization, right? And I was out there recruiting a guy by the name of Brandon Frazier. So Kamani and some of his friends was trying to help me. So then we were talking, we were talking. I did a little research. And I was like, you went to Texas, El Paso? He said, yes, I did. Then he asked me, said, you know Johnny Melvin, don't you? So I was like, Johnny Melvin? You're basically from Chicago too then, if you know Johnny Melvin and Carl Davis and everybody. But, man, I'm happy for this guy, Jay. When I called him, I said, hey, Champ. And I said, Champ, we need you on the show, Champ. And he's like, man, say less, let's do it. So, but I got a bone to pick with him when he comes out, but I'm so proud of him. He's an up-and-coming coach. He did a great job last year when he had to fill in and coach the team, and it's obvious that he did a great job this year. So let's bring my man out. Let's bring Kamani Young out here.
Coach, how you doing? Welcome to What's Up, Cuz, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. Lance, thank you for the wonderful introduction. You guys have me dying laughing back here. I had a good time on this show. I'm happy to be a part of it. I think I'm gonna fit right in.
Hey, Champ, I got a bone to pick with you, though. Hey, Jay, can you pull that picture back up, Champ? Pull that picture up, Champ.
Get the picture of him back up. Not a problem. Here we go.
Champ, I got a bone to pick with you, Champ.
What's that, Champ?
So now, let me ask you a question. So is that a Taylor sport coat and a Taylor shirt? Because I see the Ferragamo belt now. And you look like, see, they used to tell me when I first got into business, Jay, you can't outdress the head coach.
Yeah.
So is that a Taylor sport coat, Champ?
It is, Lance. I'm trying to bring them with me, man. I'm trying to bring them with me, man. My grandmother told me how you do one thing is how you do everything. You got to look the part before you play the part. So
Say what you just said again. Like I tell
Yeah.
kids all the time, come on. I said, look, you gotta look the part. If you
No
look the
doubt.
part and dream the part, then your dreams might come true.
No
Your
doubt.
grandmother gave you some great advice, but man,
Yeah.
thanks for being on the show. And I gotta ask you this.
Appreciate it.
How does it feel? How did it feel when you saw the clock ticking down? Because
Yeah.
your game wasn't close. So probably about the 2-minute mark. I mean, when did it set in that y'all was the champs?
Yeah, Lance, it's funny, man. We all grew up playing the game. We all been, from playing to coaching to being a fan to watching. You dream about that moment without ever thinking it's gonna come true.
Mhm.
That's just what it is. You chasing it, and you living and dying with every game. And once we got there and started putting some games together, you get to the Elite Eight, you get to the Final Four, and just to just to be a part of that and have that feeling at the end was undescribable, man. I still can't believe it. I wake up and I just pinch myself like, you know what, I'm the national champion. So it's an awesome experience, man. Just trying to get back.
Did you think at the start of the year, did you think y'all had all the pieces to win the national championship? Like, when did you start thinking, like, man, we might be pretty good this year?
Yeah, it's funny. My girlfriend is in the background laughing because I didn't think so, Lance. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I used to come home in the summer. Yeah, I just hope we can make the tournament. You know what I mean? I didn't see it, man. We had 4 new transfers. We were depending on young guys to fill some shoes they hadn't been in terms of, Jordan Hawkins and Andre Jackson playing roles that they hadn't played. We were depending on, Tristan Newton to step right in and fill a big void that was left by RJ Cole.
Mm-hmm.
Tyrese Martin had became a second round pick. He was playing in the NBA. We didn't have anybody that, that had that experience stepping into those roles. And the summer was tough. We was really pushing it to the limit. And, we didn't know what we had in Donovan Clingan. He was going
I
against
like him.
Adama Sanogo every day. And he was limping out of there every day, not knowing, what he would bring, but we got off to a great start, hit some bumps in the road, and started clicking at the right time in terms of the end of the season.
But in the stretch run, Kamani, like y'all beat some really good teams. You beat Miami, you beat Arkansas, you beat Gonzaga. I mean, y'all beat the who's who of college basketball.
Yeah.
Which team did you think could probably give y'all the toughest time leading up to the national championship game? Because when my cousin Jason he bought the brackets out, and I didn't really look all over. But when I looked, I said, you know what? I said, Jay, I think UConn could win it all. I thought Arkansas probably I said, if it's going to be a stumbling block, it'll probably be Arkansas. Was it anybody there you was like, whoo, that's a bad matchup?
Yeah, I tell you this, Lance, and you're a coach. We had lost in the first round in back-to-back years. So we didn't go into this tournament with a ton of confidence. We went into this tournament feeling like, hey, you know what? We got to get over the hump of the first round. If we can get to the second weekend, that's an improvement for us.
Mm-hmm.
And St. Mary's was a tough challenge. They had the size, they had the shooting. They were good defensively. Like they that was no pushover. You watch them on film, and they handled Gonzaga early in the season. So we really took it game by game. Arkansas was a tough matchup, because of their size and their length. And, they had 2 top 5, top 10 picks and Anthony Black, Nick Smith. So, you're looking at them on film. But what I realized going through this run is how well the Big East Conference prepares you for the postseason. It really does. The physicality that we see night in and night out. None of those teams we played in the NCAA tournament, with all due respect, matched up to that.
Like I saw Providence play when you talk about being physical, right? And I watched them play, and I said, you know what? They're more than physical. And I watched Creighton play too. So y'all league is like, people say Power 5. Y'all are a Power 5 league.
Yeah.
So Yeah, y'all Power 5, but how has your life changed since y'all won the championship? Has it changed? Has it changed? Are you eating? Are you getting more free meals?
Not yet. Not yet. Not yet, Lance. I mean, listen, it's funny, man. You play so long that you don't get a break. You
Uh-huh.
know, now you're dealing with who's leaving, who's staying.
Oh
Um,
my goodness.
that's a challenge in itself. Um, then you're looking in the transfer portal to try to supplement, the guys that we got coming back and this, incredible recruiting class we have coming in. So
Mhm.
it's been nonstop, man. I'll get some time off, really, man.
You know what? And I'm gonna get to the transfer portal in a hot second, but do you think it should be like a break or two after the season where, like, look, everybody needs to take 2 weeks? Because I think football, if I'm not mistaken, I think they get about a month off or a couple of weeks where you can't do nothing. Do you
Yeah.
think it should be a break like that? Because, like you said, basketball is the only sport that plays two semesters.
Yeah.
So, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Lance, it's tough, man. You know what I mean? Like most of those schools that we were competing against in the transfer portal, they got a head start on us. A lot of those teams, were done, whether it was the first round, second round, and they can get a jump start on those, on those transfer portal kids. We're playing all the way through to the last day of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And then you fly in, parade and back at it. We had a visit on campus this week. So I do think that that's something that the NCAA needs to look at. We all need a break. We all need some time to, spend with our families and try to regroup and get ready to do it again. But I wouldn't have it any other way than we had it this season.
So, John,
So,
just a follow up to that previous question. Let me ask you this then: how do you spend the downtime that you get? And I know it's really precious to you when you do get it.
Yeah, just spending time with my family, man. I like to get out. I like to get to a beach. Find some sun. Listen, I've been at UConn the last 5 years. I was at Minnesota the 5 years before that. I had 1 year at FIU where, didn't have to go too far to get away, but, I love getting down south, getting to Miami, getting down to some water, man, and some sunshine.
and the thing is, Jay, Kamani has
Yeah.
4 kids, if I'm not wrong. So, how did the kids take it all? Because the kids want you to be daddy too, and you have the pressure, I think, of working at UConn, because UConn used to win the national championships. I think this probably the 5th one. So,
Yeah.
how do you blend that for the young coaches looking family time versus job business time?
Yeah, you gotta find a way, man. I'm fortunate, man. My family supports me. My 2 oldest sons are at UConn, so I get a chance to
Nice.
see them every day. Their managers in the program. My daughter, they've been around it their whole life, so
Mm-hmm.
they've adapted well. And when the time permits, man, I like to pour everything into them as well.
Mm-hmm. Come on, this is what I don't envy you. Then I'll let you ask the next question, Jay. I don't envy y'all because this transfer portal is changing the game. That and NLI is changing the game, and we talked about it. Like it's like what 1,200 kids in the transfer portal now.
Yeah, probably more.
It's
Yeah.
not a scholarship for everybody. So, and you had to deal with the player to transfer. What advice do you get to players when they say, "Hey, coach, I think I want to jump in the transfer portal"? How do you
Yeah.
handle that?
Yeah, it's tough. It's every situation is different,
Mm-hmm.
Lance and Jason. And I'm not here to condemn the transfer portal.
Mm-hmm.
I think that as a coach and as a somebody in this business, we all have to adapt to it. But I think that every kid and family has to really take a step back and evaluate the whole situation before they
Mm-hmm.
just run and jump into the transfer portal.
Mm-hmm.
So like if I'm not playing my freshman year, my answer is just, jump into the transfer portal. You had 6 McDonald's All-Americans that are transferring this year after their freshman year. 6.
Wow. Didn't know
That's
that.
unheard of.
Didn't know that.
And that's the problem that I have with it is that, growing up for us, you had some adversity, you learned how to overcome. You're not playing as a freshman. You know what? I'm gonna get in the gym in the summer. I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna play
Mm-hmm.
more. I'm gonna challenge myself against the best. And if it doesn't work out for whatever reason, and you want to transfer, you knew that there was a penalty. I would have to
Mm-hmm.
sit out a year, before I can transfer and play again. And I think that deterred, young people from just, running away or looking to transfer. So, listen, there was some guys in our program last year. We sat with them. We were honest with them. This is the role we see for you. This is how we see you progressing in our program. We want you to stay, but this is the reality of what it's going to be if you stay here. And, 4 of those guys decided to leave. And we had to replace them, and we got better from it. We wish them the best. Some of them made good decisions. Some of them made poor decisions. But if we could rewind and go a year back, I'm sure, some of them would say, hey, I could stay and be a part of a national championship, program. They would have decided to do the latter. So, every situation is different, man. I think it's hurt more than it's helped, but as part of our business, we got to adapt to it.
All right. We are being joined by Kamani Young from UConn. You are watching What's Up, Cuz. We are going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to come right back because we got more questions for him. Because Kamani, there's definitely a question that I need to ask you about in terms of this year's particular tournament. So stay tuned, everybody.
Oh, Kamani, get ready. He asks crazy questions, boy.
All right, you watching
Lance, what's up, man?
What's up, guys? It's your boy, the Superback, Sean Sierra, and I want to let you know that Sports Zone Chicago is hitting the streets. Come hang out with your favorite Sports Zone Chicago personality at our live broadcast at the Sports Zone Chicago Draft Party on Thursday, April 27th at Output Lounge, located at 1758 West Grand Avenue at 6 o'clock. Join us for the best wings in the city, a live show, and an all-around great night because you know how we get down. So don't meet us there, beat us there. And we'll see you Thursday, April 27th for the Sports Zone Chicago Draft Party at Output Lounge, located at 1758 West Grand Avenue in Chicago.
Welcome back to What's Up, Cuz. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jason Palmer, along with my cousin, the coach himself, Lance Irvin, and we are being joined by UConn Associate Head Coach Kamani Young. Coach Young, I got to ask you, even though you're coaching, you can't hear me? Can everybody else hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, is it just
Kamani,
Kamani?
can you hear him?
Oh.
Can you hear me, cuz?
Kamani can't hear. I can
Kamani
hear you.
can't hear.
Yeah, Kamani can't hear. Maybe something on his end. So we'll have to check and see. It might be something on Kamani's end because we can all hear each other. So it may be something on his end. We'll give him a little bit of time to check his connection there and see. These things happen during live television. Not a problem at all. Very interesting, the transfer portal thing, because Lance, one of the things I was really laughing about was Angel Reese, especially after winning the national championship and then after the incident with Caitlin Clark. Her Instagram followers went through the roof, and they said now Angel Reese is probably going to make almost $1 million as a college player, which is more than she would ever make as a WNBA player. And I'm like, this is the advantage that the female athletes are now starting to get because, for decades they were getting the raw end of the deal. And now it seems like because of what's happening with the NIL that they're able to do this. So I'm going to bring that up with Coach. Is he ready? Okay, we're ready. Let's bring him back. Coach Umani, how about now? Can you hear us now?
I'm good. I'm good.
Perfect.
All right,
Perfect.
excellent, excellent. All right, so let me ask you this, because you were actually involved in the tournament this year.
Mhm.
But for those of us who were just fans and we had brackets, this year was a complete disaster. We had people eliminating number one seeds in the first round. You know, it was just a complete nightmare. I can't ever remember a tournament this nuts. So, what were you thinking about it as you were sitting there observing all these number one and number two seeds falling? Just the wackiness of this year's particular tournament.
Yeah, if you follow college basketball all year, man, it wouldn't be a surprise. You know, there was so much parity, um, you know, across the board in college basketball because of COVID. You had guys with the extra year, you know, a lot of older teams, the transfer portal, you know, all those things kind of factor in. It was so many moving parts. It weren't just your traditional programs anymore, you know. So you add all those things together and you had upsets galore and you're right. It turned out to be a wacky tournament, but luckily we figured out a way and ended up on top.
Right. And, you know, and I think, you know, it really did something for college basketball. I think it got more people interested because everyone was watching to see, oh my God, who's going to lose next, you know, to see who's going to continue to make the run. At UConn. Now, I've never been to Connecticut. Never been to Connecticut, never been to Stores, Connecticut. It's on my list. But what is your convincing recruiting speech to get guys to come to Stores, Connecticut? Because I can guarantee you, most of the guys you probably recruiting are like, where?
Yeah. The history and tradition, man. The kids may not know, but the families know, their coaches know, their moms and dads know if they basketball families. You know, when I first got the job, you know, I was excited. I get to come back home. You know, I'm from 2 hours away, born and raised in New York City. And when you walk around this place is a you know, it's a museum of the who's in college basketball and even the NBA. You look up on that wall, you see the 14 lottery picks, you see the 15, 16 All-Americans, you see all the players of the years and all the championships. This place gives you chills if you love college basketball. So you know, it's not an easy sell once we get them here, man. You could come be the next Ray Allen. You could come be the next Kemba Walker, the next Rip Hamilton, Emeka Okafor, you know, James Bouknight, Jordan Hawkins going into the NBA this year, you know, potential lottery pick. So, you know, once you get here, man, you're right. It's in the middle of nowhere now. But, you know, we use that as an advantage as well. Karan Butler. You know,
Call it Alameen. Call it
Khalid
Alameen.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, come out here, stay focused, get away from all the distractions, you know, work hard, reach your goals. You'll be in and out of here.
And then I guess my other question is that, you know, it's not just the men's team that has success with Gino and what he's done with his program and just the amount of women, Olympians that you have on the women's side and WNBA first round picks as well. My question is, how do the two programs feed off of one another?
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah, we have a great relationship with them. You know, Gino is great. He actually traveled with us to the Final Four. When we have recruits in town, we bring them over to meet him, his staff, watch practice, you know, vice versa. He's got to go on campus. You know, their parents and the families come over and spend time with us. We got a great working relationship with them. You know, we piggyback off of their success just as they do ours. It's a special place that's been able to have kind of history and tradition on both sides of college basketball the way that we have. You know, unprecedented, man.
I'll tell you what else is unprecedented. So you from New York, Kamani, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, how the hell you end up in Texas, El Paso now? You got to break that down, you know.
Yo, Lance,
because I hear on the grapevine you had game too. So talk to me, because New York guards don't get out of New York.
First of all, Lance, what year is this? I want to make sure we pass the NCAA statute of limitations before I tell you, you know, how I ended up down there.
Give us the short version. Give us the short version without this.
I'll tell you what, Lance. I was a pretty good player in high school, but I was under recruited. I went to LIU Brooklyn my freshman year. I had a solid freshman year. You know, and decided that I wanted to transfer up. I knew that I could play at a high level. You know, and I visited a few places. I visited Rhode Island. I visited the University of Houston. I visited, you know, Texas, El Paso. And, you know, just when I went down there and I saw all that tradition, Coach Don Haskins, Tim Hardaway, Tiny Archibald, you know, all the great players that have played there, Johnny Melvin, you know, Carl Davis, Ralph Davis, all the guys that I played with.
Prince Stewart, Marlon
Prince,
Maxey,
Prince
G.
Stewart,
Jackson.
Marlon Maxey, all those guys, and Eddie Rivera, and you know, the year that I visited there, they had just come off a Sweet 16 run where they beat Kansas. Every year there was always talk about what Coach did in 1996 and in 1966, pushing the game forward, being the first Division I school to start 5 Black players. I wanted to be a part of that history. I wanted to be part of that tradition. And it was easy. It was an easy sell for me. I went down there, you know, the best 4 years of my life. I created friendships and relationships that got me on this Zoom call right now. When I was in college, we went to Chicago every summer, you know, played in the Pro-Am up there, got to know so many good guys, so many good people. You know, so it was awesome to be a part of, and part of the reason why I'm still coaching today.
You know, Carl Davis, you CD, Antoine Gillespie.
Those my guys. Those my guys. Those my guys.
How was it to play for the Bear? Because, you know, I went to Colorado State, and I'm older than you, but they had, when I was playing, they had Antonio Davis.
Yeah.
They had
Greg
the Davis
Foster.
boy. They had Greg Foster. Tim was playing point, and they always had players. But, man, I used to watch the Bear, and the Bear go off from time to time. So how was it to play for Don Haskins?
It was awesome, man. It was awesome. I mean, he reminded me all the other coaches that I had growing up. You know, growing up in the playgrounds in New York City. You know, my AAU coach, my mentor, was a father figure to me. He was just like Coach Haskins. My high school coach was just like Coach Haskins. I was, you know, I was drawn to that more than you know, discouraged by it. You know, he was real with you. You know, he was honest. He was, you know, he was supportive, and he was hard on us, and that's what we needed. You know, those were the kind of coaches that produce men. You know, so I try to, you know, all good players want discipline. You know, we want discipline, we want instruction, we want, you know, direction. If you're a good player that's striving to be a great player, you want that. So, you know, my 4 years playing for him, you know, couldn't have been better.
See, Jay, that sounds like a head coach. Let me ask you this. So last year, I can't remember what happened to Danny Hurley, right? So they say, Kamani, you have to coach the team. So did you get a little nervous, or were you like, yeah, I'm ready for this? Because you did an excellent job coaching the team. Now, I just wanted to tell you that. I don't know if I called you up, but I was proud of you. So talk to us about that situation when he said, nah, it's your turn. You got to step up and coach it.
Yeah, Lance, it was definitely, I would have felt better if, you know, going into the game, I knew I had to coach. If like the day before, you know, the coach is sick or the coach is out, whatever the case may be, you have a lead up to the game, and you can, you know, process what your game plan is going to be, how you're going to handle yourself, and be prepared. I was begging him not to get kicked out of the game. I was begging him not to get kicked out. If you watch the game, I'm sitting there like please, you're going to get kicked out of this game. And, you know, but Lance, just like anything else, man, you know, once it happened, obviously there was some nerves there, you know, but once I kind of settled into the game, it just became another game that I was trying to win. You know, I think that's where my experience as a grassroots coach helped me so much. I've coached in so many games and so many, you know, so many different situations and environments. I just tried to put myself back in one of those places and coach to win.
So when you called your first time out, was you looking around like, okay, yeah, I'm here. Was you too busy just in the moment?
Yeah, Lance, I was just trying to get to the next time out, get through the 4-minute war, you know, get to halftime, you know, get to the under 12 media, get to the under 8 media. And, you know, I started looking up at the score, and we were still there. We were still in striking distance. And I was like, you know, we got a chance. We had a really good team. We was well prepared. You know, coach had put us in so many pressure situations leading up to the game every day, I felt prepared. I didn't feel there was no nerves there in terms of being able to execute. We had an older team. We knew what was at stake that game. It was a big game for us to win in terms of taking the next step in our program building. So, we went out there and got it done.
Did you think that situation made you a better assistant coach this year, having the opportunity to slide over season coach?
Yeah, absolutely. I said it to him right after the game. Like, I get it. I see why they pay you all the money. There's so many things that's going on in the course of a game that you got to be ready for. I think experience is the best teacher. So going through that gave me a lot of confidence as an assistant, as an associate head coach. So, it was definitely something that I remember and cherish and try to reflect back on in different situations moving forward.
I got to
Coach
ask
Young,
you this
let me
question.
ask you this.
Go ahead.
Oh, hold on, Lance. Let me
Go
get
ahead,
this in
cuz.
there real quick.
You got to go ahead.
Let me ask you this. In terms of recruiting, and parents, because we get a lot of parents that watch our show, and they always ask, well, how can I get my kids seen? How can I get this? But I like to flip the question around a little bit. What can parents do that can screw up their kid getting recruited by a big time program? Because I think they need to know that too.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man. The game has become so much of a business. Like, we're recruiting the parents too. We recruiting the families too. Like, what type of kid and family you bringing into your locker room? It's important, man. Like, it's just, we spend too much time together, and it's already hard enough. You know what I mean? The games are hard, the practices are hard, the travel, everything that goes into, being a big time program. You don't want to add another layer of a crazy parent on top of that. You know what I mean? I don't care how good you think your son is, or daughter for that matter. So I think parents need to be mindful of that, man. It's great to be enthusiastic. It's great to be supportive. But I think at every level, you got to let go a little bit more. And once you get to college, I think it's time to really let go. It's time to support your kid, support the coaches, be a fan. Because they're dealing with a lot, man. They're failing in real time. I mean? It's not like when we played, maybe a newspaper article, maybe we on TV, once a month or something like that, maybe a big game, but like every game they play is on TV. Every moment that they're on the court is being reported on Twitter. Everything they do is being scrutinized. So they don't need any external pressure. They don't need mommy or daddy, yelling in the stands, causing a scene. They need support and love.
That's an excellent
I'm glad
point.
you said that. Oh God, I'm so glad you said that, man. Oh my God, because Kamani, I've ref basketball, I've ref water polo, I've ref volleyball, and I'm like, first of all, your kid ain't playing for nobody, so you should be enjoying these moments in high school. Number two, even when I get the elite kids, if I get sometimes their parents are acting out, I've heard the high school coaches tell these parents, they're college coaches here, and they're watching you just as much as they're watching your child. And I think the parents understand that. So I'm glad we had somebody who come on the show and said that as well. And I'm gonna flip the question the other way. What can parents do to support their kids? Because these kids are dealing with a lot, especially those who went through COVID. Mental health is now something we're more focused on as a society. Thank God we're finally going to that. What type of support does a college parent need to give a Division I athlete, regardless of the sport they're in?
Just be their parent. Just be their parent. I think if you have a Division I athlete, you've put enough people around them to help them with basketball. Whether it's a high school coach, an AAU coach, a mentor. A lot of these guys have agents now, with NIL. Put them in the hands of people you trust that know basketball and understand the business, hopefully, because they've walked this walk before. And just support them as a parent, support the coaches that you that you've entrusted, your kid's career with. Like that. I think that's the best thing. If there's questions and things that you need to talk to the staff about, myself, whoever, head coach, feel free, but putting that kind of pressure on your kid does not help.
See, that's a great point. You know, I got to ask you this question. Now, my cousin and I, we argue a lot, as you can tell. He think coaches should wear suits every game. Suits every game. You know, some coaches wear sweatsuits and they wearing khaki or slacks, whatever.
Mhm.
What does Kamani Young prefer wearing? How do you think the dress code should be?
Yeah, I think we should wear suits, man. I think we should wear suits.
Oh,
I think we should, and I'm gonna tell you why, Lance. And Lance, you'll appreciate this as a longtime assistant. My thinking was, in order for us to be considered for opportunities, head coaching opportunities, we still have to show our professionalism. The head coach, he has his head coaching position. He's already, he's gotten to that point. I think for assistants, it's important for us to still look professional. It's a professional business. We're in professional positions. I like to be professional. I also feel like, when we're in suits, we have the command of our teams better.
mm-hmm.
Our teams understand that we're still in a professional environment. We still got to conduct ourselves a certain way. Because if you remember, when it was COVID, because there was no stands, because we were all in sweatsuits, we were all trying to generate a certain level of energy and enthusiasm on our own. And our games started turning into AAU games. You know what I mean? Like, we hooting and hollering, and we throwing the 3 sign up, and we started doing that. We started doing that as coaches.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because we knew that we had to generate that enthusiasm. So, once we got fans back in the stands, I said, Coach, we got to go back to suits. We got to start, we got to button up, man, and go back to looking the part.
See, because I told Jason, I said, now, me, Kamani, I said, I like wearing suits because I grew up watching my father. My father worked at Xerox every morning. He got up wearing suits. So I enjoy wearing suits. And I told people, I said, I couldn't wear sweatsuits over there. And I don't mind slacks and a pullover, but I have to have on a pair of cold hunts. That's just me.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, it's a happy medium, but that's why I fool with you, because your explanation is spot on. You said something I didn't know about. And I do agree, especially for African-American male that's trying to get a head coaching job. I know this. They like people that's hiring head coaches want to see what their head coach will look like. In that picture that we showed to you, you showing them what you look like is being the head coach. So I think they're more apt to say, you know what? Let's go hire a Kamani Young. Let's go hire Nick Irvin, something like that.
Yeah,
So
at least get us in the room.
Exactly, because
at least get us in the room.
It's hard enough getting jobs, and hopefully I want you to be the next one to get one. So the job front, but are you a New York Knicks fan?
I am, man. Born and raised, man.
Hey, man, y'all did a great job getting that closer. How you feel about the Knicks? Can the Knicks win the series, Kamani? Because Jason's Bulls suck. The Bulls just sucked around here. But go ahead. I'm not going to go off on the tangent.
I think we can, man. We got, when I growing up a Knicks fan, all the good teams we had, I felt reflected the city. They all reflected what New York was all about: the toughness, the grittiness, the ups and downs, the hustle. And I think that's what this teams look like, man. We got a superstar and a really high level player in Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle, young up and coming, big time player in RJ Barrett. We got some good pieces to put them, that we got put around them. Thibodeau's got them playing defense, or as much defense as you're going to get out of players in the NBA. And they're doing some different things on offense. He's involved as an offensive coach. So I'm excited, man. We got that guard rocking again. We got the guard rocking again. So I'm excited, man.
You know what? Our producer wants to come on and ask you a question. So see, when you had the champs on, they want to come on and ask you a question. Come on, Sean, you come on. You can come out and ask him questions. That's the superback. That's the producer of the show, Kamani.
Coach, how we doing, man? How we doing, man?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Wonderful. So I got 2 questions for you. First, what part of New York did you grow up in? Where you born in?
I grew up in Queens. I grew up in Left Rack City.
All right. My roommate from college was from Kew Gardens. He spent a lot of time in Hollis.
Yeah. I know Kew Gardens.
He went to St. Francis Prep. So
the St. Francis Prep. One of my good friends, Chris Hall. Howie Dotton, both of them went to St. Francis Prep.
Okay.
Tim Leary, that was the coach there for a long time.
Okay. And then how high are your aspirations? You looking to get your own team to your own school, I would imagine. And is it power, initially the first gig you can get, you want a mid-major, you want a Power 5, where do you want to start? Well, again, where do you want to start and how high do you want to get to?
Yeah, ultimately I do want to be a head coach, and I haven't put any limitations on myself where I need to start or where I need to finish. I just want to keep working, keep moving this program forward and earn the next opportunity. I think that's the natural progression. You're always looking for the next challenge. I love what I'm doing. I got a great job and a great program. Just got the nets down. So what could be better than that? But ultimately, I do want to be a head coach. So we'll see when that opportunity comes.
Yeah, well, good luck, man. I wish you the best, and hopefully we'll see you in the big dance in a couple of years.
One day, for sure. Then I'm gonna be back in Chicago begging Lance and his family for players.
Let me say this while you're on here. Like I said, you're a good person, and I appreciate you helping me when I came out there. Like Brandon Frazier was a good player, so you tried to help me, and I think I don't think people are willing to help like they used to. And I think we need more people like you reaching out like, hey, Lance, we have a player, Why don't you come take a look at anything I could do to help you? So I appreciate you doing that. Like I said, he was a really good player. So, anything you need in Chicago, I got you. Now, if my cousin Jason calls you trying to get a ticket to the game, he tried to set you up earlier when he was like, oh, I haven't been to Stores, Connecticut. He's trying to set you up for a ticket. Tell him no. No. Don't give him a ticket because you can't get rid of him. If you give him a ticket, you won't be able to get rid of him. But, anything you need, give me a call. See, because you and Jason on the same page about stuff. So I'm going to ask you this last question. I'm going to leave you alone. If you answer this question wrong, then I'm through with you. Come on, I'm not going to answer your phone call. This another one of our arguments. The throwback uniforms, the different variations of the uniforms with the teams. Do you think, they had these City Life uniforms? I don't know how many sets of uniforms UConn has, but how do you feel about the different variations of uniforms? Should they just be standard or should you have the different variations?
Nah, we got to have some variations, man. We got to have some variations, Lance. The game, it's a business now. You know what I mean? So it's marketing, it's fan engagement. We got to have it. Like we keep a running tally of our record in certain uniforms. We keep a running tally. Yeah, they got wins and loss records. I'll come to coach. Hey, coach, we want to wear the black jersey. Nope, we lost to Xavier last time we wore them. We ain't winning them. We ain't wearing those. Coach, let's wear the throwbacks. All right, we won last year. Let's wear those. So I think it's cool. It's a cool thing for the players. It's a cool thing for the fans, especially throwback jerseys where you paying homage to the history of your program. So it's been great for us.
Love it. All right. I love it.
Man, we appreciate you having you on, and I definitely.
Man, thanks for having me, man. This was fun.
Man, I appreciate it. I'm gonna call you. I'll see you in a couple of weeks, and I talked to Nick about that too. So Nick's supposed to be calling you off.
Yeah, I'll see him in Atlanta for sure. They getting it done.
Great job, JC. We got the next head coach.
I got one last question for him though.
Go ahead.
I got one last question for you. All right. Now, this is probably the most important question. And may I remind you, Coach Kamani, this show is from Chicago. All right. Which one of these photos is your favorite photo from the rivalry Bulls-Knicks series? Is it John Starks dunking on Horace Grant and Michael Jordan? Or is it the Scottie Pippen dunk on Patrick Ewing? Which one is the more ferocious dunk, Coach? And remind you, we are a show based in Chicago. Here are your choices.
Well, you're based in Chicago, but I'm in the confines of my own home, so I'm going with the John Starks photo. If I was in Chicago, then I might think something different. Hopefully when we play DePaul next year, they forget about this show.
All right, Coach Kabani. Yeah, we appreciate it because man, the Bulls Knicks rivalries from the '90s are still. I mean, that stuff was just legendary, man. This series was legendary. So,
Big time.
man, thank you
Big
so
time.
much for joining us, man. We really
Nah,
enjoyed
man, I
it. And good
appreciate
luck
it,
to
man.
you.
Thanks for having me.
All right, good luck to you. Coach Kamani Young of UConn, everybody. Thank you. All right, we are going to take another commercial break, and then Lance and I, we're going to come back, and we got some more topics we got to chop up. We got to talk about our White Sox. Oh, Lord. We got to talk a little bit of hockey. The Blackhawks season is over. We're going to see what's going on with them. And we got to talk about one of your former players, Lance Irvin. One of your former players made some big news today. So I'm sure you're aware of it. Yeah. So you're watching What's Up, Cuz, everybody. We'll be back in a few minutes. Stay tuned.
What's up, guys? It's your boy, the Superback, Sean Sierra, and I want to let you know that Sports Zone Chicago is hitting the streets. Come hang out with your favorite Sports Zone Chicago personality at our live broadcast at the Sports Zone Chicago Draft Party on Thursday, April 27th at Output Lounge, located at 1758 West Grand Avenue at 6 o'clock. Join us for the best wings in the city, a live show, and an all-around great night because you know how we get down. So don't meet us there, beat us there. And we'll see you Thursday, April 27th for the Sports Zone Chicago Draft Party at Output Lounge, located at 1758 West Grand Avenue in Chicago.
Welcome back, everybody, to What's Up, Cuz. I'm your host, Jason Palmer, along with my cousin, the coach himself, Lance Irvin. We were just joined by UConn Associate Head Coach Kamani Young. Congratulations to Coach Young, a national champion, man. Just a beautiful thing. And thank you so much, Lance, for getting him on the show to come in and talk to us.
You know what, Jay? It's always enjoyable to have some good people on there to tell their history and tell their story. And one thing he touched about was how much time you have to spend in your craft, Jay. Like how many hours I don't think people understand how much time you spend away from your family. Like how many hours you have to put in, right? I tell people all the time. I remember up until Brookie was 11 years old, Jay, I missed 9 of her birthdays. I missed 9 of them, Jay. Like, and one of the ones I made, I was only able to stay there for 3 hours, and I had to jump on a flight and go somewhere else. So it's time consuming. It's rewarding, but with that being said, I think they do need to get a little break for a couple of weeks and stuff now, because, like you said, mental health is real, and sometimes they need a break. But man, it was great having them on. I'm proud of them, but you tried to set them up also when you showed those dunk pictures. I was like, ooh, I wonder what he gonna say, because that one Scottie Pippen dunking on Pat Ewing was nasty. And if you from New York, ooh,
Yeah.
you say Pat Ewing got dunked, I wouldn't have touched that with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, they were both some awesome dunks, man. Just great series rivalries from the 90s, man, with the Knicks and Bulls series. And, I think, one of these days we're going to get your daughter on the show. We're going to get Brookie on the show, because I do think you bring up an important point. And, we've talked about a lot of the mental health in terms of the athletes, but we don't talk about the mental health of coaches. We really don't. Like, all the focus right now is on the players. And I guess this is just part of the progression as the society becomes more aware of mental health and how important it is to take care of your mental health. So we're focusing right now on the players, but the coaches, man, I don't know how I don't know how your divorce rate amongst coaches isn't even higher than what it is. And I look at what you and Paul have, 20 years, 25. Is it 25?
20,
Y'all ain't single
26.
yet, right?
26.
26, yeah, you passed 25. I mean, that's a lot to ask your spouse to deal with when you're not there for that kid's birthday party and the other spouse got to stay behind and listen to all them damn questions. Where's my daddy? Why mommy ain't here for the birthday party? The spouses alone deserve an award.
God bless their souls, Jay, because they put up with a lot. I mean, we're gone 90% of the time. You hear people in the stands talking crazy when the team doesn't play well. I mean, it's a lot. It's a stressful situation. And sometimes we come home, we're not necessarily happy. So we're frustrated and don't want to talk half the time. And you, man, Jay, you getting home at all time of the night and stuff like that. But that's why they said you have to pray about it and make sure you marry the right spouse. Because I know with Paula, she was a rock, Jay. Because some of the stuff I was going through from time to time, I was like, dang, coming in at 3, 4 in the morning, getting back up at 7. She was taking Bricky to school. I'm missing birthdays. I'm missing special occasions. But with that being said, I found a way to make it work. But I've seen a lot of coaches, Jay, when we talk about mental health, I should write a book on some of the stuff I seen, Jay. I'm like, ooh, that's tough. But it could be, see, people only see the highs of it, but there's some lows too. Now, everybody is not winning a national championship, right? Everybody doesn't have a really good team. So everybody administration is not a supportive and good administration. Like everybody doesn't play in front of sellout arenas. So, you have to take the good and the bad, but you have to love it. And I think most of us love it. I wouldn't trade it in for nothing. So with that being said, it's tough. But like you said, have mental health. And you know what, Jay, we need to do? Yeah, we need to get some spouses on. We're gonna get some spouses. Yeah, we gonna that's a great idea, Jay.
Yeah,
I wish we would have thought about that for women's wasn't it women's?
that's all right. We can do it anytime.
We get spouse on.
Do it
Mm-hmm.
anytime of the year, man. I'm sure the spouse would love to come on our show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I think they go through a lot. It's a lot they go through. I remember when we had my friend Trina Peel, softball coach. I remember we had Trina on, and Trina's husband is a college softball umpire. So she's a college coach for softball. He's an umpire. In the season, I don't know how they ever see each other because
coming
both
in and out.
games and they got a kid. I don't know how they do it.
That's tough. But
Yeah.
we shall see.
Yeah, that's a good show idea. We'll have to do that. We know enough people who are happily married and their spouse will come on and tell us stories. We get that on. But I'm definitely concerned about a lot of these coaches. We hear every once in a while the alcohol abuse is taking place among some of these coaches, and that leads them to make terrible decisions in their personal life.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the people who you're expecting to lead your young adult child. So I definitely think that's something we should explore. What's up? Because we don't shy away from any topic. So I think that'll be a good topic. But hey, I got one more basketball tidbit for you before we talk baseball. And the big news of the day regarding your former player. I got the information in a tweet shortly before we came on the show. But your former player, Adam Miller, also known as Ace Wolf, is transferring to Arizona State University to be with your little brother, his high school coach, Nick Irvin. And this is now Adam's third school, as we were just talking earlier about everybody transferring. Wolf is going out to be a Sun Devil with your little brother, Nick. Your thoughts?
That's first of all, I'm happy for Nick and I'm happy for Adam too, right? Because they made a great pair in high school at Morgan Park, right? So hopefully they could bring that same energy and that same effort, and they can make each other better at Arizona State. But anytime you Nick and you get a chance to get a player like Adam Miller, I mean the sky's the limit. And like you said, this is Adam's third time, so you want to make sure you get this one right, because after this, there's no other, right? So with that being said, Adam's a really good player too. He can shoot it. So we had to work on the dribbling a little bit. Not saying he can't dribble, but we shore that up. He has potential to make money. But I think him and Nick could make good music together like they did in high school. So shout out for that combination. I'm happy for Adam and I'm happy for Nick. Matter of fact, we should have had Nicholas. Nicholas hadn't been on the show all year. So, we need to get Nicholas on the show in the future.
Well, he's a big time associate.
Yeah, he big time.
But, he ain't got
no
time now.
Mm-hmm.
No, he ain't got no time. But yeah, I did see that, and Adam did put it in his tweet. He did put it in his tweet when he announced, like, this is the last time I'm doing this. I'm not going to the portal no more. I thought he was trying to break Charlie Moore's record for a minute.
Man, plus Jay, you in Tempe, Arizona too? You just came from Tempe. I was in Tempe. How nice is Phoenix? How nice is Tempe?
I love Phoenix. I love Tempe, man. I love the Arizona State campus. I told Nick, I was like, thank God I didn't come here as an undergrad. I would have been graduating 10 years later.
Jay, I didn't know their campus was that nice. I didn't know it was that spread out. I just thought it was a couple of blocks. That thing is like on steroids around there. It's nice.
Man, they campus so nice. I'd have been looking like Sean Sierra back in the 90s and San Andre on spring break. That'd have been me in Arizona State had I been out there. I'd have been just like Sean Sierra back in the day. I would have never graduated. They got swimming pools on top of the dorms, man. They got pool parties like damn near every day. I'm like, when do these people go to class?
That's the sign of the times, right? If you have to keep up with the Joneses and everybody has nice stuff, most of the quote major universities have nice stuff. Like they say, Alabama stuff is so nice, Jay, just in terms of football and stuff like that. But the Power Five and the money they're bringing in from the NCAA tournament, from the football playoffs and stuff like that, that money affords you nice dorms. That money affords you nice classroom buildings and stuff. I tell people all the time when people say, sports, these coaches making too much money. Well, the school is making a lot of money on athletics. Ain't nobody saying that. Have you heard the president complain about how much money they getting?
No.
From the tournaments and the football play? They not giving it back. Like, Jay, if I'm correct, I think every school in the Big Ten last year got like 52 million. 52 million, Jay. Something crazy. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. And we're not talking about the season.
They get to a lot of swimming pools.
They get you a lot of swimming pools. That's 52 million from the tournaments and all the TV deals, all that extra stuff. I mean, come on, Jay. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop playing with me.
All right. Let's talk some baseball.
Hey, don't forget the TV deal that Kevin Warren just worked out with the Big Ten. All right, the school's going to be getting
100 million,
almost 100 million, except between 70 and 100 million a year.
And we're not talking about
why do you think USC and UCLA is like, I love the Midwest. I love Chicago, Indianapolis, St. Louis. Why do you think they jump ship?
Yeah,
$70 to $100 million a year.
And that's not counting the ticket sales, the parking lot prices.
Nope. Not included at all.
I mean, think about that. Think about that now. That's why, Jay, that's another mental health. That's a lot of stress coming with them jobs now because you're making a lot of money.
But you know what, though? I got to say this, too, though, because, and my wife is she's put this in my head, too, now. And she make a good point. And everybody know my wife graduated from Texas A&M. But here's the thing. She says, you're right. They are making $100 million. So why the hell is the tuition $70,000 a year? Because if you're making that much money, it's a whole lot more of your student body who could be going to that school at a significant reduce in cost.
Because it's a business. Because it's a business. It's a business. They're not going to, trust me, they're not going to lower tuition, okay, unless you're a special player or whatever, okay, because they're still getting the money there. They're still getting all the endowment money they have. Why they want such big endowments, what do they do with them? What do they do with endowments? They build buildings, expand. All right, they'll probably use that to expand so you can bring in more students who are going to pay more $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year. Okay,
exactly.
So that money is an investment into more students. I would imagine, just
I
from a
remember-
business perspective.
I remember when I worked at SMU, like in 2006, the tuition was like $57,000 in 2006. Then we went to visit Charlie Moore at Cal, and the tuition back then was like $75,000, and this was like maybe 7 years ago. Think
Yeah.
about that. That's a lot of money. Why is
That's a hell of a
like
lot of
Sean
money.
said, it's a business. That's a great question too. That's a heck of a lot of money.
It's
If
a
I were
business.
colleges, I'd be like, don't count my money. Stay out my pockets. You do you.
And
We're
I
going to
agree
do
with
us.
you, Sean.
That's a great point.
I agree
Great
with you,
point.
Sean. It is definitely a business. I just think of the larger impact we're having on society if we make it unaffordable for people to go to school. I think that's the other part of it. That's the other side of the coin of it, is that, what are we doing in society if we're putting this thing so far out of reach for some people to attain education so that they can improve their life as well. Don't get me wrong. And I know this is capitalism and that's just part of what comes with it, but I just think somehow they got to find a way a little bit to help some of the other people. That's all I'm saying.
Jay, I disagree with you. I disagree with you. There are millions and millions and millions of dollars that goes unused every year in scholarships and grants. Okay, so because people want to coddle their kids nowadays, and their kids don't want to do jack shit and get on. Look, if Queen from the West Side can get $2 million worth of scholarships, why can't you? Why can't you?
That's true.
Because she could. Why? Because she sat her ass in front of a computer, filled out all those forms. Okay, because she came from probably a lower socioeconomic background, the fees probably waived. All right, she decided she wanted to go to school for free. So if you're a person of color, there is no reason why you can't get most of your tuition paid, if not all of it paid, if you do the work. If you don't want to do the work, if you want to bitch and moan and complain about, oh, I got the student loans, I got to do this, no, you don't. No, you don't, because trust me. Before I went to when I went to Holy Cross, before they came and gave me a scholarship,
That is a fair.
I had about $2,500 to $3,000 in scholarships just from, because there was no computer back in 88, 89. There were no computers back then. That was the floppy disk. The floppy disk. There's no internet. All right. So I had to go. I had to look at a book. Went to the library, send letters, and I still got about $3,000 worth of scholarships. And they give you the money. They don't give it to the school. They give it to you. Yeah. So that went right in my bank account.
That's a good response, Sean. I cannot argue that point either, because I did the same thing. I didn't get an athletic scholarship, and I funded my education through Pell Grants. Never had to take out a loan, fortunately. But I got, someone told me back in '88, there's millions of dollars that goes unclaimed of grants and scholarships every year. I was like, what? And like you, I remember sitting in the college counseling room or something at Olive Harvey.
Mm-hmm.
It was time for me to get ready to go to a 4-year, and they're like, look, we got one computer in here. You sit down in front of it, and they had like a database or something, because it wasn't the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Database, and they were like, these are all the people you need to contact. And you just wrote letters and called and did whatever you had to do. And I ended up getting money.
Yep.
I got money from the Boy Scouts of America because I was an Eagle Scout. So they had some money for me. I got money from the Lutheran Church of America because my mother was Lutheran. I got money from the Catholic people because my aunt was a Catholic person. So I was getting money from just piecemealing it kind of all together. And that's how I did it. So I do agree with you that, people do have to work. And even my wife says that. She's like, people think that athletics is the only way kid can get a scholarship. They get academic scholarships all the time. But you got to put in the work in the classroom for one.
People don't understand, man. You get a lot of companies. You have a lot of companies who make a lot of money, and it's a tax write-off for them. All right. I mean, if you make, let's say $30 million gross, whatever business is that you're in, are you getting taxed on $30 million? Obviously, minus salary expense, whatever. But you're like, Dan, do I get taxed on $30 million, or can we give $500,000 away in scholarships? All right, boom, that's tax write-off. So tons of businesses, Fortune 500 companies do it. They don't give a damn about. We care about the next generation. No, you don't. You're a damn lie. You care about not being taxed as high, off a higher tax bracket. Stop it. Stop playing. It sounds good,
You know
but
what?
that's the bottom line. Because
And my-
Stone Cold said so.
I don't disagree with y'all, but here's a problem that I kind of have. Like, I don't like hearing like your parents make too much money, you shouldn't get. I think the government should give everybody a little bit of money if you pay taxes and your kids want to go to school, right? Because it was 6 of us, and I tell the story how my father made like 50,000, and we couldn't get the Pell Grant. It's 6 of us, like we can't get
Right.
nothing. And like you said though, now I do agree you got to work hard and find the stuff. But like Jid just said, I think some counselors are lazy and don't tell kids what they could do because a lot of time knowledge is key. And sometimes people don't really know you need to do A, B, C, and D. That's why I just think we need to have somebody on the show. But I'm still pissed about not being able to get the Pell Grant and them telling my daughter, your parents make too much money, you can't get nothing. Come on, stop it. Now, she did her leg work now. For grad school, she was on scholarship going to whatchamacallit when she went to Hampton. She's on volleyball scholarship. She got most of her stuff paid for in Central Florida. And the other one, she did leg work. Let me go this. Let me look at this scholarship. Let me look at that so she get more money and stuff like that. But it's tough. And I agree with you too, Jay. Like, I understand it's business like you saying, Sean, but 80,000 and I'm gonna stay out of people's pockets. I'm like, damn, should school really? And I know them don't even curse on the show. I'm like, damn, should school really cost that much?
Yeah.
Hey,
it's pretty
that's
expensive. It's
like the
pretty
state of
expensive.
Illinois. Where's all that gambling and reefer money taxes going? But that's a whole another.
Yep.
That's another podcast.
Exactly,
That's,
because
that's another podcast.
Exactly, because that right there is crazy. So
That's
Jay,
$1 billion in reefer, over $1 billion in reefer sales.
Man, we need to
We
find
know where that
somebody.
money went. It didn't go into them. It didn't go into fixing them potholes. I tell you that.
Exactly. And where's the lottery money going?
Yeah. Lots of questions. All right. Thanks, Sean. All right, we're going to talk a little bit about our White Sox, Lance. Good Lord. The White Sox have not won a series yet this season. Now, it's only 3 weeks into the season. However, when you asked me a few weeks on the show my thoughts on this upcoming season, I said, I'm going to wait and see, but I don't feel confident about this team. And I said, because the major problem I have with the White Sox are the injuries. That was my major problem with them. I said, you got the same people coming back who have a history of injuries. I'm just not confident they're going to stay healthy. We already 3 weeks in the season. Eloy already been in the disabled list. Yo-Yo currently on the disabled list. Tim Anderson currently on the disabled list. Joe Kelly back on the disabled list. Luis Robert hadn't been there yet, but I think he's next because he's about due. But there are even more. I think did you do like a printout of everybody who's currently on the disabled list, man?
Oh man, I gotta find it, but I looked at it. You were spot on, Jay, what you said. And my thing is this: the best availability is being available to play. Right, and I look, Jay, and it was about 9 people on that. This one day to day, this we talked about Eloy and stuff like that. My problem was we said the same stuff last year at the start of the season last year. At like the 40 game mark in the season last year, we were talking about we still have players hurt. So my thing is this, Jay. Y'all know I've been hurt too, but it's supposed to be a different level when you reach the major leagues, right? And like we start off the season with people hurt every year, so at a high rate. It's not like you got one person hurt. It's at a high rate. So, I mean, are we eating the right foods? Are they doing the right strength and conditioning? Or is the major league season too long and maybe training camp needs to be a little bit longer? I mean, what's your thoughts on the situation, cuz?
Well, I mean, they've changed training staffs. So they brought in a whole new training staff because they felt that could have been the problem the last few years. And now these guys are still getting hurt. And my point is, these dudes just keep getting hurt. They're a problem. It's no different than Kerry Wood and Mark Pryor back in the day for the Cubs. That's the way I see Eloy and Yo-Yo is the R. Kerry Wood and Mark Pryor, which is why I was willing to do away with them after last season. I'm like, I've seen this show before. Yeah, they gonna come out, they gonna be hot, and then all of a sudden something gonna happen. I can't keep watching this movie. I'm cool with Jake Berger at third base. I said that. I know his defense isn't as good as Yo-Yo, but that fool can hit. he hit like crazy. He's smoking the ball, which is what I said. And he coming off major injuries too, but he hadn't been hurt, lately. I just don't think you can win if the guys are not available, man. And you got to make those moves. And then the second problem is their pitching is atrocious. It's just bad. It's just bad. I don't know if Michael Kopech will ever become what we think he can be because his control is just suspect and he hasn't developed an off-speed pitch. I'm just really irked with the White Sox.
I'm looking at this. I was trying to find the pitching staff, Jay. And I was going to ask you this. Is it the cold weather? Like, is your body better in a warm climate? Is it just cold in Chicago where, guys' bodies just not as tough playing in the cold? I don't know, but with that being said, because, it's just bad. It's bad. And until you're able to consistently put a unit on the field, and no matter what sport you play, football, basketball, baseball, then you're going to struggle. Because and I know, it's a difference between a starter most of the time and a bag up. And that's how it is in most sports. It's a difference between Anthony Davis and a bag up. It's the difference between Zach LaVine. It's the difference between Dylan Cease and the difference between somebody coming in for them. So I don't know, but you said they just changed the training staff. I didn't even know that it was traded. So, Jay, do you think they're playing too many games?
Baseball players?
Yes.
Huh. I've gone back and forth with this. I would love to see them move it to a 150-game season, but as Sean just said on our previous conversation, it's a business. The fools ain't about to give up no damn money. Hell, they just added extra games in the NFL season. That's the most physical sport humanly possible. We know they shouldn't be playing 17 football games, but, they going to do what they going to do because the money is too big. So, do I think they're playing too many games? Yeah. Because you're doing 162 games plus another, 30 games in spring training, even though, don't get me wrong, you're not playing a full game during spring training. But then you get to the playoffs, then you're going to have the playoffs. Yes, they're playing too many games, but they're not going to cut that down because that would make too much sense. So the other argument, though, the other side of that coin, Lance, is that, today's athletes have the most technology advanced medical philosophies and equipment ever known the history of mankind. So some of this is on the athlete too, man. You got to get your body ready for that grind. And I just think a lot of them not willing to do that, especially once they get their paper. And I think that may be one of the problems with this White Sox team is that once everybody got their money, they kind of mailed it in. I think Rick Hahn, he did something that was really business friendly for the White Sox and signing a lot of these guys to long-term deals, which was paying up a whole lot of money. But I don't know. Do they still have the heart? Do they still have the effort? I don't know. I got a lot of questions about this team, and I will say it now, and I know people are saying it's early in the season, but I've felt like this ever since last year. I just don't like the chemistry makeup of this team. I think they should actually blow it up and rebuild the rebuild. And I know that is really hard for a lot of White Sox fans to hear, but I think you got to rebuild the rebuild and get started now because you can still get something for Eloy. You can still get something for Yo-Yo, but you got to get different type of players and different type of chemistry. I think the White Sox had their window. I think Jerry Ryan.
So what you saying? We wasted years with Tony La Russa. I just beat you to the punch. So you saying we wasted our years with Tony La Russa?
Yes, I think those 2 years with Tony La Russa really put them back. It really put them back. It changed the mojo. It changed the whole chemistry of the team.
Mm.
And you can see it. Like they haven't gotten that confidence back. That and then that when they got to the playoffs that year with Tony and Houston whooped our ass in the first round. I think
Oh, did
that
they?
yeah, I think that was like when Ronda Rousey finally got knocked out one time. After that, she was like, woo, I think I'm gonna retire and go to something a little bit less dangerous. I just think they got their bell run from that Houston series and they ain't never recovered from that either. So I think you can't win with these guys. They're talented players, which is why I think you trade them and start building your next team for the future. And you better start with pitching because Michael Kopech, I'm not confident he's going to see the development.
I
I just
mean,
would not.
Jay, do you like any of them? Bummer, Cease, Kopech?
A bummer. Oh, I can't believe you brought his name up. My
Man.
cousin Lisa's watching that right now. She probably I know Lance didn't tell Jay's a bummer. Maya gonna come jump on the show. She hear you say that again. Not I
Co-
like Cease.
I think Cease been pitching well. I watched him. What was the last week? I think Jay he pitched an excellent game. We just didn't hit. What you say?
Okay.
We just didn't hit that day.
Yeah. See, yeah, Cease can pitch. No doubt. They got a pitcher, but I think I think Clevenger's been okay, for what you got for him. But it's just, I think Lance Lynn he's probably really a 4, and you got him pitching as a number 2. They need a left-handed starter. I've been saying that for a while. I don't know why they didn't address that issue. And the bullpen has just been god awful. I feel sorry for the manager. Every time he brings somebody in, they just as bad as dude he just left in. So the man, his hands are tied.
But Jay, I've been talking about the pitching for 2.5 years. It's the first thing we talk about every year. Jay, the pitching, but it's always a but, Jay. Then we always talk about the hitting. I used to say last year, oh man, we got a good hitting team. We got all this power. And you was looking at me like, power? We were swinging for the fence all the time, missing, striking out. At some point in time, I think it was a year ago, we damn near, let me stop doing that. We led the league in strikeouts almost. So we was swinging for the fence. But sometimes, Jay, from a coaching standpoint, you only have a short window. And sometimes your window will pass you by. Because everyone is not sitting back just wanting to be marginal. It's people that like making their money and is trying to make more money. See, because if I'm making 18 million, I'm trying to go get 30 million. That's just me. If I'm a manager, Jay, I'm trying to get, instead of 2 years, I'm trying to get a 5-year extension. So you need your players to show up, and you need to hit it just right. Like you can't hit it just right. But I'm starting to agree with you. Maybe the window is closed.
Yeah.
So
It's a really hard
pill to swallow
to have to accept. Yeah. But it's just I just don't see it, man. I just don't see it with this team, man. And I love Tim Anderson. I love Tim. I love Luis Robert. But man, I want the team to win. It don't matter how much I love individual players. If they ain't winning no championships, or they ain't winning the division when it ain't a COVID year, I mean, they ain't doing nothing. We need the team to perform, and I just don't think they have the right chemistry. I do like the manager. I think he's a good guy. I think he knows what he's doing. But I think, as Ozzie Guillen Jr. comes on and says all the time, this is not a third manager with the same group of players. You didn't like Ricky Renteria, and I agree with that decision. Nobody liked Tony La Russa, and now you're on your third manager. So if you can't do it with this third manager, it ain't the manager.
No, and as a manager, Jay, like you can only do so much if your players are not performing and maybe they're not good enough. And you're in a situation where these days they're not letting you sit around for 5 years, Jay. No team is letting you sit around for 5 years losing. They will get you out of there first before they get the players out of there. And sometimes you don't even have a fighting chance. Like, what is he supposed to do with half his team hurt? Half the team hurt. Is that his fault? Is that his fault? But when your record is getting beaten up because again, your player's not available to play, your record is getting beaten up, they're not gonna come back and say the players, well, they might say a little bit, well, they had a lot of injuries. They're gonna look at your wins loss record. They're not gonna say if players missed 50 games because of injuries. They're gonna put an asterisk by there and they're gonna say, okay, let's bring another manager in. So that's a tough situation. So I'm starting to look like you. You starting to convince me maybe they do need to blow it up. And you know what? And this is another reason why I'm getting upset too. Because I'm tired of hearing from Sean Merritt and Nick talk about the Cubs. I don't want to hear their mouths talking about your team's supposed to be so good and all this and all that. I don't want Jay. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to see Nikki and Sean running around with Cubs hats, Cubs jerseys, talking about I told you. Do you want to hear that BS? I don't.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. But they got every right to say it because it's true. And I can't deny it. I can't deny it at all. So what can I say?
Shout out to our boy Julian Green. I like going to a Cubs game. So we need to we need to reach out to Julian and go watch a Cubs game.
We definitely need to do that. Okay. Last topic, as we're getting a little bit late in the show here. The Blackhawks finished their season, and they finished with the third worst record in the NHL. So this season was a complete failure because we wanted to finish dead last, but we finished third from last, which isn't bad. They will be in the lottery for the Connor Bernard sweepstakes. Connor Bernard, I know you're not a hockey aficionado. He is basically
not at all. That's
the dude.
Is he the next Gretzky? Is he the next Gretzky?
Yes.
He's the next Gretzky.
Yes.
So,
he is the next Gretzky.
So shout out to our guy Jonathan Taves, though.
Yes.
I just hate when you at the end of your career because he had some great shit. I think he won, 3 Stanley Cups, Jay?
Yes, he did.
So a shout out. You want a guy like that to go out on a winning note. So shout out to Taves. He had a great career with the Blackhawks. But Jay, like, you're betting that you get the number 1 pick. Can and will they get the number 1 pick? I don't know, Jay, but I knew we were having a bad year when I looked online, and like you told me, I didn't believe it, but you told me I could get a ticket for as low as $3. So when I looked online and saw a $3 ticket, I said, oh, hell. That's when you know you're struggling. So what do they need to do, Jay? Like, they got the Joneses. I don't know, Jay. Like, how can we get better?
Well, so here's the thing. So he's already put. Here's why I like Kyle Davidson so far. He's doing what nobody wants to do. Everybody wants a big fat turkey, but nobody wants to ring the turkey neck. So he came out,
What you mean by that?
Because he was like, we're not re-signing Jonathan Taves.
Got to go ahead.
The man traded Patrick Kane, my favorite hockey player of all time. He's like, yeah, he got to go. I'm sorry. He traded away everybody he could get something of value for. That's why I'm saying the White Sox got to do the same thing. He was like, this going to hurt. I'm just telling you now, but I'm doing this. He traded Kane. He said Taves ain't coming back. Everybody who had a contract that was paying them more than they needed to make, he was like, I got to let him go. And he's gotten draft picks. So if you look at this year, he's got, he's going to have that lottery pick, but he's got 4 second-round picks. And then he's got some in the third round. And next year, he's got, I think, 2 first-rounders and stuff like that. So I get what he's doing. This is what a rebuild is going to look like. And it's going to be terrible for the next season or 2. However, if you draft right, if you hit on those prospects, it's a brighter day ahead. And so he's doing what you got to do. It's going to hurt. It's painful. And we got to stop living in the past of the 3 cups. I got the DVD. I can go back and watch it whenever I want to cheer myself up. But right now, they are in hell. They are in hockey hell, and they got to change it. So
purgatory.
They ain't even purgatory. They in straight hell, dog. So, they're doing what they need to do so that we can start talking hockey again on the show. Good Lord.
because you and Evan Moore, y'all the hockey guys. Two black guys talking hockey. Y'all do a great job of people of any color.
Yeah.
But I mean, because it's tough. It's
Yeah.
tough. And like you said, you putting stress on the guy to make sure they get the right draft picks.
Yep. So, all right. And speaking of hockey, our guy Phil Thompson from the Tribune, he'll be joining us in a week.
Phil.
Got to give him. Phil went on vacation. I ain't mad at Phil, so we'll ask Phil where he went. Although I think he went to Miami, but we're gonna ask Phil where he went when he comes on the show in a couple weeks. But hey, that's another great episode of What's Up, Cuz, man. Oh my God! Thank you to our guest, Coach Kamani Young of the UConn Huskies, national champions. Congratulations to him. He was a great guest. Lance proved that he knew pretty good amount of stuff about Jackie Robinson. He got 60%, so that's pretty good. And next week we'll come back with Jump Ball, and then we'll come back with another What Lance Knows. So those are our two new segments. But for our super producer, Sean Sierra, for my cousin Lance C. Irvin, I am Jason Palmer. Thank you for tuning in for What's Up, Cuz. We will see you again next Monday night at 6 p.m. Take care. Peace.
Make sure you have my thing.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun, we will march on to victory. We will march on to victory. Let us march on to victory. Is what